So my master's was in food safety, and I specialized in food law and regulatory affairs. So I was more specialized in law and regulatory affairs with quality subject courses as well. My first job, I worked in a dairy company called Friesland Campina. So it's like the dairy. It's like how we have Amul here. It's Friesland Campina is there. So they're like one of the biggest dairy industries over there. So there I was working in my role was called specification specialist. So it's more of a quality and R&D. It's a role between quality and R&D. They have like yearly twice they have this career day fair. So they have it like a career day fair. So there all the companies come and they put their stalls and everything. So you can visit those career day fairs, and that's actually in a way it's helpful because you get to know what are the companies are there, because all Wageningen especially it's an agricultural university, and all the agri-tech and agri-based companies, they come and they put their stalls. And the scope is also, there is a lot of scope now for agriculture. Networking is one of the main important sources when you go abroad for and when you want to work there.
The work-life balance in Europe. Kindly enlighten us.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one major advantage I see working there, because since I also worked here for 2 years, I could see that I could clearly see a difference in the work-life balance in Europe, because they have a very strict work-life balance. So whenever in the company that I was working till now, in my last company, I used to go at 8:30 in the morning, and I still feel I'm late because by 8 or 8:15 the office is full. Everyone reaches the office by 8 or 8:15, and at 5 o'clock there I cannot see anybody in the office. The office is empty. So by 4:35 everyone leaves, and then I'll be the one who's always leaving in the last. So I'll be leaving around 6 or something, and the office closes by 7. The building closes by 7. So the work-life balance, they have a very strict work-life balance there. So that, which is really good. So after 4 or 5 they take time for themselves, and university will send you vacancies also. So the university has a career department. So there every week they send you some vacancies for internship or vacancies for job. So you have to apply on. They don't help you as such. They don't like spoon feed you with applications. They send, this is there, if you want you can go and apply. So my internship, I did it at Kraft Heinz, so the ketchup company. So there I did it at Kraft Heinz, and then my thesis project I did it at the university in the law chair group. So my thesis project was it was more in the law and regulation side.
Hello everybody, welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. In our continued episodes of student interviews, today we are going to interview our student Rabindra, who studied in Netherlands and currently working in Netherlands. So Rabindra, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Shivaraman sir. Nice to meet you as well. Meet you. So it's good to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to give this interview.
We should only thank you, to allot time to share your experiences in Netherlands, your work as well as your professional life. So Rabindra, to start with, kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, so my name is Rabindra Ganapati. So I did my bachelor's in SRM. I did my bachelor's in food and process engineering, and then I worked for 2 years, and then I moved to Netherlands to do my master's in food technology and food quality. And then currently I'm working in Netherlands now in the food industry.
Wonderful. That's a fantastic and an ideal introduction. Studied in Netherlands, Wageningen, and currently working there. Before we ask further questions, so any specific reason that you took food technology in your undergraduate? Somebody told, or you are basically inclined towards these food-related studies?
Yeah, so basically after my 12th standard, I wanted to do something different. So I did not want to get into something very conventional like computer science or mechanical or other conventional lines, but I wanted to do something different. But in my house, like they preferred I do something with engineering so that I'll have some background. So after like everyone's household, like after engineering, if I can do something else that I'm really interested in. So I thought, okay, let me start with engineering itself, but I was not very much inclined towards mathematics or physics and all. So I was looking for something different and also interesting and also a little bit of creative. So when I was researching for something within engineering with these kind of disciplines, like excluding these engineering physics and all, I came across this food technology. So actually, food and process engineering. I'll probably explain it later. Difference between food and process engineering and food technology. So I came across this food and process engineering course at SRM University. So then that was the first time I came to know there was something like this. And then this looked interesting because I also liked to eat like an experiment with different cuisines. So I thought, okay, let me try to dig deeper into this study. And then when I started researching about this further, it was actually very interesting. And then I thought, okay, why can't I try out this? And then I started with this course. And then it was a 4 year BTech program. And after the program, like during the program itself, I felt it was very interesting. And I thought, okay, this should be my career path. And then I continued with it.
Super, because you made a choice and you work towards it, and day by day your interest only grown further, I guess. That's why you're successfully what continuing in the same domain where you started after your 12th grade, right? Food technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this
Exactly.
interview is even more special and important, because in the era where students think only computer science courses will get them a job, that's what people are thinking. And I also studied in SRM. Now if you look at the all universities, 90% of the colleges only teach computer science courses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not against that, but what I'm trying to say here is, whatever you like, you understand and study at the right place, you will find your opportunities. That is what we keep telling the students. So after your bachelor's, you work for a few years, right?
Yeah.
So at what time you decided bachelor's alone is not enough, especially for a food technology course? I need to explore more. At what time you decided, let me do my master's? When did you decide that?
Yeah, so actually, in my bachelor's or in general, in all the bachelor's offering food technology courses in India, like it's more generalized. So because food technology and food and process engineering in itself, it's a very broad field, and you have a lot of specializations within this thing within this degree. So in my bachelor's, it was more I studied on a more generalized level, and then like at the end of my bachelor's itself, I was thinking of doing a master's because I thought I need to specialize on something so that I can grow more and it will be even helpful for me in my career and also to learn. So and also in my home, like my parents and my family, they were saying I must do, if I'm interested in this field, then I must proceed with the masters. That will only help in the long run. So that's why at the end of my bachelor's itself I was thinking, but then I thought, okay, it's good to get some work experience, and then I start with my masters. So at that time, at that moment when I decided, I did not have much clarity on how much of years I should have and how helpful this work experience will really be sorry, for my masters and things like that. But I thought, okay, let me just try out for a few years and then start with my masters. So I just joined. I did not have a very clear plan and all. I just thought, okay, let me just go with the flow. And then I joined my work, and then I was working for 2 years in Chennai. And then afterwards I thought, okay, it's now time. I don't know, I felt, okay, it's now time to focus on something more, because the work also was more monotonous, and I
Yeah,
felt the growth was not very much. So
exactly. So time to shift the gears, basically. So when you decided to do your masters, which all countries were in your mind?
yeah, so the first country was in Europe actually. So my first preference was in Europe, and then US was my second. I wouldn't say second, like Australia, New Zealand was my second preference, and then Canada, and then US was a bit more lower because at that time one of the main reasons was I also had to prepare for GRE and have a very high GRE ranking, and uh, those exams were there. So I did not prepare any of those. So with Europe, your IELTS score was enough, and with that you can actually, and your bachelor's qualification and score, you could actually apply and get. So I did not do too much research on US. So it was mainly Europe and these countries.
Super. So then how did you find Europe Study Center?
Yeah, so before I joined my master's in 2018. So, but I was doing my higher studies research from I think 2016 end or 2017 beginning. So 2016 December, and from 2017, I was planning to do my master's and started doing the research on it. And in the beginning, I did not have any idea about like how to do, what is the process, because at that time we didn't have much of LinkedIn was not popular, Instagram, Facebook, or all these information, easily available information that we have now was not available at that time. So it was very blank to me, and I did not have any exposure. So I was thinking how, when I visited two other consultants, and but they were not very satisfactory for me because they tried to push me in the countries they had connections with. So then,
Exactly.
then I was.
Exactly.
Uh,
I'll come to this point. Please say. Yeah.
yeah. So then I was thinking, and then my mom suggested me this Europe Study Center in
Okay.
Chennai, and then we had gone to me, my father, my mother, and myself. We three had gone. So I still remember the day when we actually went to Europe Study Center, and then
Okay.
it was actually Anandi. The ma'am name was called Anandi. I'm not sure if she's still
Yes.
continuing.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So she received us. We went a little late in the evening, and then she received us. And we just, at that time, actually, I just had one Europe university in my mind. So it was Wageningen. And then, because I came to know through one of my friends, related father, that this is a good university and you should try. But how to do, what's the process? Nothing was clear to me. So I went to her, and then we just told about this university and my course and all. And then she gave a detailed explanation. So before I told this, and then we also asked her suggestions because I did not know what are the other universities and how to search and all. So we told, at the moment we have only this university,
This one.
and we would like to know further on what's the process and what's the other universities.
Super. So
So
this is how it started. So before
yeah,
we dig deeper, uh, you said without pulling names, when you said Wageningen University to any other abroad education promoting companies, their answer would be no.
yeah, that's true. None of them knew about Wageningen, and they also were
Even if
not.
they knew, even if
Uh,
they go to the website, they will not promote it, Rabindra.
yeah,
You know why? Any wild guess?
they don't. They're not. They don't have any tie-ups, or
Or in other words, or in other words,
they don't get any like fund.
exactly,
Uh, okay.
exactly. They don't get Naya Paisa commission. That is why, Rabindra, they don't promote it. Very, very simple. And always, audience, to remember, a top public university will not pay single rupee to any agent or any consultants. This is how it is. And you would have heard options in UK, right?
Yeah,
You know, when
more
you visit
UK and Canada
UK,
was more.
Australia,
Yeah,
Canada. Okay, in Canada, they would have not given you Toronto or British Columbia universities.
yeah,
The smaller chota motas there.
yeah, and they were promoting more the 1 year courses, not the
1
2 year
year
courses.
PG
Yeah,
diploma, a
yeah, PG
student,
diplomas.
yeah,
Yeah,
a student coming to you guys for a food technology proper public university course. This is what they give. And this is what I don't like. You know, a student is coming inside. Okay. You give him the best university and openly explain what is the process and charges involved, but not push them to a university or a college where you guys get benefited. And always they would have told, right, we do free services. You
yeah,
understand now? This
yeah.
is how this is how the abroad education industry works. That's why I don't maintain any friends in this particular industry. And
Okay.
even today, Ravindra, only we promote Wageningen.
Oh, okay, okay.
Nobody will promote. Open challenge in this video. You know, nobody will promote. Wageningen, TU Delft, Eindhoven,
Hmm. Hmm.
all these universities. Only we. Because our policy and ideology and why we are number one even after 16 years without competition in a country like India. Very simple. Place the kids, youngsters into the top public university in that country. Problem solved. For example, the university that you studied, can anybody complain about Wageningen? No chance, right?
No. Yeah,
No
it's
chance.
a
No
very good
chance.
university. I would recommend it definitely. Yeah.
100%. Anyway, we are going to come to that particular topic. No, I wanted to enlighten you as well as the, other people why nobody promotes Wageningen and why they should ignore these 1 year degrees and PG diplomas, basically. That's how it is. So the moment you got a call from us stating that you are admitted in Wageningen for your dream course, how did you feel?
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, I felt really good. So
Because
actually, yeah, so initially the process, because at that moment, yeah, they also gave me, like, when I went, the I one was Wageningen, and then the other one I wanted to know other options in Europe as well. So they gave me more options from Sweden, like Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, and then one more Lund University in Sweden,
yeah,
and then from France, a few others. So they gave me more options. So it really, because I did not do, like, I was not very clear on how to do the research and things. So in that way, Europe Study Center really helped me to do the complete research. in other countries as well.
So the moment when you got a call from us that you are admitted, that moment, how did you feel? Because that was your dream university, Wageningen.
Yeah. So when I got the mail, it was actually really like it was very happy for me, and I felt really happy. So because I was not sure whether I would get into this university, but it was really good for me. So I felt really happy, and
Super. And
yeah,
many food technology students dream university is Wageningen, Netherlands. We
yeah.
we are going to discuss about that only right now. So, how was your first semester? Because we would have studied in a different education system, learning pattern, examination pattern back home in India. So, how did you adapt yourself for a top public university like Wageningen? What were the changes that you had to make for you to do your masters, especially in the first sem? And what was your title of your master program?
Yeah, so my probably I'll answer your second question first. My title of my master program was I did my master's in food safety, and they have like a lot of specializations. So if you go to the website, you can see like they have a lot of specializations, and it's very specialized. All their courses are highly specialized. So my master's was in food safety, and I specialized in food law and regulatory affairs. So this was I was more specialized in law and regulatory affairs with quality subject courses as well. So the with respect to the how I adapted, yeah, I would really like to enforce this because I experienced and I also see a lot of juniors who are coming, who came after me and who are also coming now. The first semester, it's very difficult for everyone. So, and I've seen people like they used to feel very depressed or they get very demotivated, saying I never failed or I never had any issues till my bachelor's, but here I come and everything is completely that I cannot understand anything and they're going too fast and things. So for them, I would first say, okay, just relax and take it slow because it takes at least 6 months to adapt to this new education system, and there it's completely different from our education system. So there it's much more since it's a master degree, it's very intense, and their pattern itself is very different. So they don't follow the semester. In Wageningen they have this period system. So every period they have in total 6 periods for one year, and then each period consists of 2 months. So if food technology courses, they only start in September. They don't start in February or March. So in September, if you go, the September, October is period one. So you'll only be allowed to take 2 courses in period one. You can take more, but it's not recommended because it won't be sufficient. You cannot manage it. So you'll have to take 12 ECTS and then 2 months. And then by the end of October, you'll write an exam for those 2 courses and finish it. So those 2 months is like one semester basically. And then November, December, you have period two. So again, 2 months, 2 periods. And then in January and February alone, you'll have one period each. So January will be period three, February will be period four. So in that 1 month, you have to take one course, and then you have to give the exam by that month end. And then the remaining till July, you have it like 2 months, 2 period thing. So because it's only 2 months and you have 2 courses which are very intense, the workload is intense, but you'll get used to it. I don't want to scare. Like over a period after 6 months, you will definitely get used to it and you'll adapt to that system. So that's
That's
the thing.
Rabindra. This is
Yeah.
what you expect in a top public university like Wageningen, right?
Yeah.
This load, this intensity, this quality, and
Yeah.
you youngsters, have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable in the future.
Yeah.
If
True.
you
Very
if
true.
everything is easy, brother, we might as well just do a PG diploma or a 1 year degree, XYZ university. Why join Wageningen? Not needed, right?
Yeah.
No pain, no gain.
You know,
So
again.
tell us, how helpful were the professors were, how friendly they were, and how they assisted and guided you. Enlighten us at
Yeah,
Wageningen.
so yeah, probably I would also like to mention one more point, like about Europe Study Center itself, because with respect to the LOR and cover letter, because that's where I got the maximum support, I would say. So like LOR and then the motivation letter and all, I used to write it on my own, and then I also send it to Europe Study Center for their corrections. So that was the maximum time. They were very helpful, I would say. So I just wanted to mention this because they were very patient and they corrected my um this thing, and they gave suggestions on how I can improve. So that was really helpful. So I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to add this. I missed it in my previous part. So yeah, so the professors, they are very helpful there. So in the university, I would say they are very helpful and they're very open-minded. So, but the only problem is you cannot contact them after the lectures. So if you're taking courses, and after the course is done, after your period is over, like you cannot go to their rooms, or you cannot call them and ask for doubts or anything. Then it's quite difficult to reach them after your courses, because teaching is a part of their job. They also do research assistants, and then they are also doing like special research, and they go to companies, and so they have a lot of other responsibilities, and teaching is a part of their job. So they won't be easily available after course hours. If you mail, some professors might respond. Some of them, depending on their availability, they might not respond. It's not that they don't want to respond, but they don't have time in their agenda. So the best thing is you have to ask questions then and there. So during class hours itself, you have to be open and you have to ask questions. Because I was very shy and introvert, and I was very hesitant to ask questions. But over a period of time, I realized you have to ask, even if it's the silliest doubt, you have to ask it at that time. Otherwise, you don't get the answer. And there you really have to understand, only then you can pass the paper. Without understanding, it's highly impossible to pass the paper, because it's more concept oriented questions that they ask. And
Exactly. We cannot write 44 pages and clear the examination. We have to
yeah,
understand and clear the
yeah,
exam.
exactly. So they ask for 16-mark question, and you just have to write 7 or 8 points. You still get the 16 marks. But if you write 2 pages, if the keywords are not there, then you don't get it's a complete no. So, and they also give the pre-reading material. So you have to read on a daily. So they give you the agenda basically. So every course, when the course starts, they give you, okay, week 1, what we are going to do, and every day what we are going to teach, and then the pre-reading for each of those classes they give you. So every day before going to the lecture, you have to go through the reading material and then go. So only then you'll be able to understand what the lecturer or the professor is saying, and you'll be able to ask questions. So if you just go and sit in the class without any preparation, then you cannot understand anything, and it'll be Greek and Latin for you. So you really have to do the pre-reading in order to understand, and only then you'll be able to ask questions. So
Wonderful, wonderful.
this is
And
the
also, audience, this is the whole idea of me doing all these interviews. The young minds watching these interviews from experienced and successful students like Rabindra, to get yourself prepared. That's why I take my time out and Rabindra takes his time out to enlighten the students, basically, so that they are prepared. When they find a situation like this, whether Wageningen or any top public university in Europe, they will pull out the experiences which they listen to students like you and put it into their day-to-day activities, which will make them at least slightly comfortable. Yeah. So how do they assess your knowledge? You said without understanding the subject, we cannot clear. So enlighten the audience with the examination pattern at Wageningen University.
Yeah, so the examination pattern, so you have different patterns for each course. So I cannot give there's no one common pattern. So I'll probably tell you the concept on which the exams are designed, because some courses, they have only MCQs, multiple choice questions. Some courses, they have only open questions, and some, they have like 40% internal mark, group work and things, and then 60% exams, final exams. So probably I'll tell you the concept in which they examine. So basically, they want you to understand the core concept. So when they teach you a thing, they're not going to ask you the same question in the exam. So for example, just to put it in a very simple term, they'll teach you 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But in the exam, they're not going to ask 2 plus 2 or 4 plus 4. They're going to ask 168 plus 172 plus 20,000. What is that? So this is a very simple example that just came into my mind. So you really have to understand how it works. So that's the course. So when you understand that, then you can really, then it's actually very easy for you. So that's the basic thing, I would say.
Super. Which I would like to ask you is, for a complex and a challenging course like food safety, that too at a university like Wageningen, without experienced and knowledgeable professors, this all becomes almost impossible, right? To master and to learn all these parameters. And one more point, which you rightly said, these professors work part-time at the university and
Yeah.
full-time into their research and
Yeah, very
their
true.
own
Yeah.
industries. That
Yeah.
is most important. The professor having industrial connection is a key parameter for a university.
Yeah, very true. That's very
It
true.
keeps Rabindra, it keeps him updated, right? That's most important.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he is outdated, what can he give to the students?
Yeah. True.
Only when he works in an industry, only he is constantly publishing papers and doing research, that is when he can impart, high level of knowledges to the students, which makes these premier universities in the world always most sought out for, basically. Yeah,
Yeah. Very
that's how
true.
it is.
Yeah. That's very true what you said, sir.
Super, super. And I guess right from the day of choosing food technology, joining in Wageningen, completing these courses, I guess every day your interest towards food technology and its courses was actually increasing, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Because when I joined, I did not have much knowledge. And even when I was actually now, I would say in India, the industries are now much more booming. It's a very emerging field in India. But when I joined, it was not very popular in India. And whenever I used to tell my relatives or friends, they always mistook it as catering, so hospital management or catering. And I remember I used to tell a number of times saying it's completely different from catering or hotel management. This is a completely new, different field in food industry. So yeah, now and then when I started with my masters, it really helped me to see how broad the scope is and what are the different areas in which the research is going on. So this international exposure really helped me to realize, okay, what how different this industry is and how much of research and development is being put into this industry on a day-to-day basis. So it's a very emerging and growing field throughout the globe, I would say.
Wonderful. Yeah, because see, without food, nothing happens,
Um,
Thambi. Nothing, the world
um,
doesn't function. Whatever it is, whether it's recession, no recession, your industry is out of all these things. As long as
yeah.
humanity is there, there will be the requirement for food, food
Uh,
safety. We are going to discuss about that shortly. So, what was your final year project?
Yeah, so my final year project, so in Wageningen, the first year, it's more like you do your courses, you have 6 periods, like I mentioned before, and then you take a total of, I think, 12 courses you take in total, around 12 to 13. So you have to fulfill a minimum of 120 ECTS in your first year. In that first year, in the second year, you have to fulfill the remaining. So, but I would recommend first year itself, you must fulfill 60, try and your maximum to fulfill 60. Otherwise, in your second year with your thesis and internship, it becomes a bit more hectic. So my
Yes,
project, in your second year, you don't have to take any courses. If you want, you can take it out of your interest, but it's not mandatory. So you have your internship for a minimum of 4 months you have to do. And then you have your thesis project, which is minimum with a minimum of 6 months. So these two they added up to another 60 ECTS. So my internship I did it at Kraft Heinz, so the ketchup company. So there I did it at Kraft Heinz, and then my thesis project I did it at the university in the law chair group. So my thesis project was it was more in the regulation, law and regulation side. So to give us a short brief about it, if you see in any products like India or Europe or anywhere in the world, they say it's a natural food. Like it's this is a natural food or it's made from natural ingredients, natural elements have been used, things like that. The word natural is used, but legally there is no definition for the term natural in almost very few countries. I don't remember the exact countries, but I think only 4 or 5 countries in the world they have a guideline for defining a food natural. That too, it's not a regulation.
regulation.
So in Europe and India and all, you don't have a regulation to say it's to say, put the statement it's a natural food. So my research was more on, is it possible to bring a regulation for putting a term natural? Because what happens is when there is no regulation or when there is no guideline for putting this natural claim, many business companies they use this term and for a marketing purposes. So they
Yeah.
say that it's made from 100% natural ingredients or it is a natural product, but they
If
add a lot of
they if they put a sticker organic on the apple, it's an organic apple. If there is
yeah.
no sticker, it's not organic. It's so funny, right?
Yeah, but organic, I'm not sure in India, but in Europe, if you have to put it organic, there is a regulation for putting it organic. So in India, I'm not sure, but in Europe, you have to follow certain regulations for organic. But for natural, there is no regulation. So so the business companies, they use it as a marketing purpose when their food is actually not natural. So my research was more on, is it possible to bring a definition for natural? So if it's possible, then what are the ways in which it can be brought in? And the more I researched on this, I felt it was actually very ambiguous and very broad to bring it natural, because it's also a personal perspective. It's also a subjective term, because what is natural for me might not be natural for you. For example, I take an apple and then I make the apple into a juice. So I basically do a minimal, though I don't add anything. I'm not having the apple in its natural form. I'm changing the form of its apple into a juice. And so basically I'm doing some level of processing. So can I still call the apple a natural juice, a natural apple juice? I'm not sure. And on the other hand, another thing is like you add chemicals. So like you add preservatives or things, then definitely it's not natural. So it's a very broad scope, and there was a lot of research that I had to put into this. So
Super.
this was in short, my thesis
Yeah,
topic.
very interesting topic, but it's too
Thank
big.
you. Yeah,
So I guess
true.
you and your professor would have sat down and defined the scope of the project so that
Yeah, that's
you
true.
could
Yeah,
finish it within time. Because without setting the boundaries or the scope, all topics are endless. You can dig as deep as you want. So we need to
yeah.
finish it within a time frame. So the scope of the project is really important. Master thesis, I mean.
Yeah, that's true. So that's where, like you asked before, the professor's guidance actually plays a more important role here. So you're assigned a supervisor, like most of the time he's either a professor or a PhD student, and their role is actually more important here than your actual courses. So they really sit with you and they guide you. Okay, what is your scope, and how can you plan? Because it's a minimum 6 months project, so they want to make sure that you complete it within 6 months and you achieve the goal what you wanted to achieve. So they make you set realistic targets, and they help you plan your schedule, and they supervise you. They constantly monitor you every 2 weeks or every three weeks. And then whenever they feel you're moving in a different direction or you're not clear of your path, they really help you out. So it's very useful. This
Yeah,
is here their importance can be felt even more.
exactly. See, that is why, Ravindra, we always request students, encourage students to do a 2-year degree.
Yeah.
What will you do in a 1-year degree? Before even you could get into the subject, it's over, graduation.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
exactly, it should be 2 years. So, people watching this interview, if at all you decide to study masters, that is completely up to you, whichever country it is. But please choose 2 years. You have to get to the bottom of the subject. Give time to yourself and be kind to yourself. Go for 2-year master program. That's what we wish to say.
Yeah,
So,
so
any
probably one more thing I can add on this. Yeah, so because initially when I was, like I mentioned, when I was going to a few other consultancies, so they mentioned they were trying to promote this 1 year degree. And actually for me also, I thought, okay, it was very interesting to see because it's very eye-catching, and within 1 year you're done and complete and you can immediately start with your work. So it was more, what do you call it? It was more motivating or more interesting for me to choose this 1 year. But after I joined here and after completing 2 years, I realized, because this 2 years also, it just went very quick. Before I could realize, it was over. So if you're really interested and passionate in the course that you want to do your masters, then I would recommend 2 year would be good. Because also, if for example you want to do a PhD after your masters, then many universities, they don't accept this 1 year program. They
no,
only
no,
accept this 2 year program. So
rejected,
again, there again your
rejected.
chances are limited. So
Rabindra, as a person promoting these studies for the 16 years, when
uh,
you know the student is going to face difficulties promoting this 1-year degree, how can you sit and promote this and play with a child's future?
yeah, true.
No chance. I cannot do it. It is, I see Instagram ads. I say this in all interviews. I saw an ad, contact us. We will get you offer letter in 24 hours. Then I thought, yeah, we will suffer for the next
Next
24
24
years.
years. Yeah.
And I saw that university's name. And I went checked in rankings. It was so less
Hmm.
because lesser the university, Rabindra, more the commission.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lesser the university's ranking, more the commission.
Okay.
For example, even clear understanding, I will tell you, like how you used examples. Will a university in India, like IITs and NITs, will they contact any broker or agent for recruiting students?
No.
Same way,
Mm.
Wageningen will not do those things. Or
Mm.
KTH or Chalmers or TU9 universities or anything, we have to compete globally, apply, sit and wait and pray, and finally get the benefits, meaning the offer letter.
Mm. Mm.
That's no pain, no
No
gain.
gain. Yeah, true.
So, after your master thesis, enlighten us about your job hunt and what was your first job?
Like how we have it here in like we have campus placements, and companies come to the campus and then they select us. That option is not there in Wageningen. They have like yearly twice they have this career day fair, so they have it like a career day fair. So there all the companies come and they put their stalls and everything, so you can visit those career day fairs. And that's actually in a way it's helpful because you get to know what are the companies are there, because all Wageningen especially, it's an agricultural university, and all the agri based agri tech and agri based companies, they come and they put their stalls. And the scope is also, there is a lot of scope now for agriculture, I would say. So they want more agri based students and agricultural background students. So they come and put their stalls, so the students can go and visit them and then see what they do and what all departments they have, and see if there is any thing interesting for them. If there is anything interesting, then they can contact the HR there directly. Some companies, they have like they organize interviews in the campus itself, and then they see whether how far they can, it's possible to hire them. And then some companies, they want them to come later, and then they have a separate interview at a later date. So this kind of a system is there. So there's no direct campus placements, but you have this fair where you can go and network with people and then do, because networking is one of the main important sources when you go abroad for and when you want to work there. So I would say this is one thing. And then job, I would say the you have to apply on your own. So one, this career fair is one thing, and then after your masters, you can apply. That LinkedIn is one of the most common sources. So I got my, now I'm moving to a new job. My first job and also this job, I mainly first found it through LinkedIn. So I saw in LinkedIn and then I applied through LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, you have to like you can use it for applications, and you can also use it for connecting with people and then networking with people. So it's a very useful tool, LinkedIn, in especially in Netherlands and for Wageningen. And then so you have to apply on your own, and then university will send you vacancies also. So the university
Okay.
has a career department, so there every week they send you some vacancies for internship or vacancies for job. So you have to apply on, they don't help you as such, they don't like spoon feed you with applications. They send, this is there, if you want you can go and apply. So that's also one source. And then
Yeah.
uh,
I liked what you said, no spoon feeding.
yeah.
Do everything on our own. So, what was your first job? What was the your company name or designation, and how happy you were to secure your first job? Share that experience.
Yeah, so my first job, I worked in a dairy company called Friesland Campina.
Mhm.
So it's like the dairy, it's like how we have Amul here. It's
Yeah.
Friesland Campina is there. So they're like one of the biggest dairy industries over there. So there I was working in my role was called specification specialist. So it's more of a quality and R&D. It's a role between quality and R&D. So I used to check the quality of a product and do the regulatory checks. So the product developers, they will develop the product, and then they send us the recipe. They send us the quantities of the ingredients used. So what we do is we take those ingredients and then we have a system. We process it in our system and then check whether it's in line with the quality standards of our company and regulatory standards of Europe, and then whether it's in line with all the sensory parameters and things like that. So it was more of a what do you call, a checking kind of inspection kind of a job, I would say. But we didn't have this role specifically didn't had to do a lot of checking with the actual product, but more on the documentation side. So we used to do the documentation checkings and then do the audit checks. So audit, we have frequent food industry is more, it has to be subjected to a lot of audits. So auditing documentation and then auditing certification checks and then updating the certifications and things like that. So more on the auditing and documentation was more my part of
Yeah.
this
Your,
role.
your master program, as well as your interest and your project, little bit here and there, all leaning slightly towards the regulatory sides, right?
Yeah, it's
Slightly.
more, yeah, it's all towards regulatory.
I
So
could, I could, I could sense that,
uh,
all your interest leaning towards that. And when it's like your first job in the same domain, I guess you would have grabbed it with both of your hands, basically, the first
yeah,
job.
yeah, it was interesting because
When
it was
you, yeah,
the first
when
job.
you,
It was not, yeah, sorry, directly related to regulatory, but it had a good mix of regulatory, quality, and R&D. So the first job is, it will be really helpful for you to gain experience and move to the next job. So it was useful. Yeah.
super. When you called up your parents, and told them that, yes, you are employed in Netherlands, how did they feel?
Yeah, they were really happy and they were really proud. So yeah, it was a very memorable moment for them and as well for me, because
Yeah, because them supporting you for your bachelor's, then again studying in Netherlands, taking care of those expenses, and finally,
yeah,
you
true.
getting a job, they would feel like, wow, okay, done. The objective is satisfied, because we work so hard, we studied in a top public university, but end of the day, when we don't find an employment, there is always a gap that has to be fulfilled in our career. But the moment when you say your parents you are employed, as well as to yourself, that's a moment of being, a self accomplishment. Don't you feel so?
Yeah,
Especially the
that's
first job after your
yeah.
master's.
Yeah, that's very true. So the first job after masters, it's a very memorable moment, and like you mentioned, we have spent a lot and we have invested a lot of time and money and energy and everything. So
Yes.
when we see, okay, it's going to somewhere where we wanted to go, it's a very cherishable moment. Yeah.
Super.
And
Now you
probably I
are
would like to add one more thing with respect to the job, because in LinkedIn, many people used to contact me and ask, and the first thing they ask is, will I get a job after I complete my masters? So I would like, I'm sure you might know a lot more than me, but still I would like to highlight one point as well. So the job part, it depends on how much you network and how much actually you develop your profile during your master program. So it's not that, okay, you we cannot guarantee that, okay, you will get a job or you will not get a job. It completely depends on your how you develop during those 2 years, what kind of profile you develop and what kind of networks and connections you make and things like that. So all I can say is, for food industry, there is a lot of scope at the moment in the Netherlands, but getting a job, it's a completely yeah, in your hands. So you really have to invest your time and put yourself, develop new projects or be proactive, and then definitely you will land a job, especially from Wageningen. All the MNCs that are around the Wageningen, they know Wageningen very well. So overall in Netherlands itself, Wageningen has a very good reputation in food industry. So you will find at
not
least
only not only Netherlands, worldwide. Worldwide.
okay. So it is.
Worldwide food technology at Wageningen is like, people know, at least people in this
Mm,
industry worldwide, they know how important and how special it is to get a food technology degree from Wageningen. And rightly, as you said, Rabindra, people should assume that getting a job is in their hands. Don't believe all these other companies, agents and consultants telling them, yo, you will get a job, you will get citizenship, you will get PR. And even students sit and believe all these things. It's really, really surprising, where you hear it from the person itself who went through all these things. And we would have never promised or did any such, what to
mm,
say,
mm, mm.
we never
Yeah,
use such words in our office. People
yeah.
used to
Even
call us.
I yeah.
In
Sorry,
Tamil, they
sorry to
used to
interrupt.
ask, Rabindra, sir, எல்லாம் ரெடி சார், எங்களுக்கு கண்டிப்பா வேலை கிடைச்சிரும்னு சொல்லுங்க,
Uh,
நாங்க உங்க ஆபீஸ்க்கு வரோம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. நீங்க வரவே வேண்டாங்க எங்க ஆபீஸ்க்கு, because we cannot sit and lie, right? All
yeah.
I do is just process the documents, line up for the visa, and how can I guarantee about the job?
Yeah.
which you which you rightly pointed out. Now enlighten us about your new job. What is your roles and responsibilities, and which company, if you can share?
My next company that I will be moving to is a company called Jivadan. So it's a flavoring company. It's a B2B, business to business flavoring company. So it's there in India also. They have branches all over. So they are more like flavor. They supply different kinds of flavors to other like MNCs like Nestle or Britannia or those kind of things. So there I'm moving, and I'm moving as a regulatory specialist now. So I was before I was doing a role that was in between everything. Now I'm moving more focused towards what I studied. So I'm moving into like a core regulatory specialist role.
Super. Super. That was like, your career on track and strengthening every year and moving towards more critical aspects of food industry, which
Yeah, yeah.
we at Europe Study Center, we are very happy. And the decision that you took at the age of 17, 18 to stick to food technology and making it count and digging deeper and working in top MNCs, really awesome, man. Really awesome.
Okay.
Now,
Thank
I
you.
want to ask you something.
Yeah.
There are a lot of aspects in food. Of course, you are into food regulatory, okay? But an
Yeah.
young student watching this interview, planning for a course in food technology, because there are so many things to be studied. The contamination in food, food safety, food regulation, and food wastage. People used to
Yeah.
say, right? What
Yeah.
grows on the field, by the time it comes to the plate, it's like 1/6 or 1/7.
Yeah.
And food preservation, so many things. So any young aspirants wanting to get into this food technology at UG or PG level, what all you would ask him to focus in this food domain?
Okay. So I would say, first thing is, yeah, what he has to see what he's really interested in. Because to be frank, I chose food regulatory more because the development part, it had a lot of physics and chemistry. So if you're really strong in chemistry and analysis and equations and mathematics, statistics and things like that, then R&D, research and development, and in that field it's good. But for me, I'm more of a person who's more creative and who likes to read more, and I'm not a very mathematical person. So law and regulation, I thought, was suiting me more. So first thing I would say, it's he has to see which area of food really interests, because the same law and regulation, it's very boring, or it's very not so interesting and monotonous for my some of my friends. So it really depends on the person, but there is scope for everything, and especially for R&D there is a lot of scope, like sir mentioned, like bringing it from the farm. When the product is brought from the farm to the table, one third already goes into wastage. So the R&D is exactly about how can we preserve it, how can we maximum get the 100%, or at least 90 to 95% from the farm to the table, while maintaining its original characteristics. So without adding any preservatives or chemicals, anything, the fresh organic products, how can we get it as it is produced? And in here also in India, I see now many people are coming up with these concepts, and it's actually very interesting to see these new concepts. And in Netherlands, they have this vegan concept, so the fake meat. Now it's a university that focuses more on sustainability and things, so green earth and all. So there is a lot of scope and research for how can you process a food with minimal energy. So process technology. So not only someone who studied food technology should do a master's in food. In fact, in my batch, most of them who came into food were from chemical engineering background. So they did their
Even
bachelor's.
biotechnology also. Even
Yeah, biotech.
biotechnology.
Yeah, correct. Biotech, chemical. So these kind of departments also come into food. So very few were actually there were only very few people who did their bachelor's in food and also masters in food. So majority were either from biotech or chemical or related courses. So R&D has a very good scope and a lot of creativity, but quality and law and regulation, or you have this process technology related specializations where you optimize the processes in factories so that you do cost reduction and produce more you use less energy and all. So these also have very good scope. So yeah, it really depends on what kind of person you are and what you're really
Super.
interested
I
in.
I pick it up like any domain under the food
Mm.
technology or food safety, whatever it is, match it with your interest, so
Yeah,
that
very true.
you are able to grow faster with interest, basically. And since you're working in Europe, which is a big debate right now in India, which I'm sure you would have read and you would have discussed with your parents also, the work-life balance in Europe.
Ah.
Kindly enlighten us.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one major advantage I see working there, because since I also worked here for 2 years, I could see that I could clearly see a difference in the work-life balance in Europe, because they have a very strict work-life balance. So whenever in the company that I was working till now, in my last company, I used to go at 8:30 in the morning, and I still feel I'm late, because by 8 or 8:15 the office is full. Everyone reaches the office by 8 or 8:15, and at 5 o'clock there I cannot see anybody in the office. The office is empty. So by 4:35 everyone leaves, and then I'll be the one who's always leaving in the last. So I'll be leaving around 6 or something, and the office closes by 7. The building closes by 7. So the work life balance, they have a very strict work life balance there. So that, which is really good. So and so after 4 or 5 they take time for themselves. So after 5 they either go for a workout, they give, especially in the Netherlands, they give a lot of importance to physical health. So they work out a lot and they try to keep themselves healthy. They eat healthy, and these kind of things they are very particular. So after 5, they go and either they go for some gym or some cycling or other any physical workout, and then go for small get together with their friends, have a small drink with their friends, and then go back to their home by 8 or 9. So
Super. Rabindra, it has to be this way, right? Just working, working, working,
yeah,
working. What do we gain end of the day? You see people uh, getting heart attacks at the age of 30, 35 has become so common.
yeah, true.
Before we used to read these newses and get shocked. Now we don't even have even a facial reaction when we read such newses. We just feel, okay, very sad. Okay, next, 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 next,
Yeah,
next.
true, very
Because
true. Yeah.
people are stressed. To add to this, contrastingly, we had, I guess, 2 months back, we had a small get together among our school friends. Okay. And
Okay.
that was on a Saturday, 7:30. Okay. And they specifically, I don't want to say the name of the restaurant, they specifically choose a restaurant where they can, sit around, not like in a table, where they
Uh,
can sit around
uh,
like this Arabic style or whatever. Okay.
uh,
Out of 8, 9 people, 6 people were either on phone or on laptop.
oh.
Me and just 2 more people who were not on the work mode. We were like, talking, discussing. Then I felt like, then they say when they all cut the call and they just join back, they say, we had no other choice. If they call us, we have to respond. Then I was asking him, what is the work-life balance? Nothing.
Mm,
They are forced to do this because majority of the companies focuses on profits.
profit. Yeah.
So for profits, the major parameter is, Rabindra, staff salary. So
Mm,
you have to add more responsibilities to the same person. So your work number of people is less and your profits are more.
mm. Okay.
So when the priority is only profits, everything else is compromised, right?
Yeah.
Same
Mm,
way, when the educational institution's priority is making money, why will they even hire a good professor? Why will they even have a, high-end technology or laboratory and all those things? So that's why I always say, whichever company or university, the intention of them matters.
yeah, true.
What
Yeah.
what what intention? So, for example, the university that you studied, Wageningen, their intention is not to make money, irrespective of what they charge. Their
Mm,
intention is high quality education. Correct?
yeah, true. That's true.
That's
Yeah.
that's how it is. That's how it is. So, how happy your parents are? Looking at all your progress, moving on to next stages.
Yeah, they're very happy. So yeah, they because initially they had a doubt when I took my bachelor's in food technology. They were like, is it a really good field, and is it very specialized, and will this have scope? But now they're really happy that to see that okay, there is like a lot of opportunities in this field, and
Super.
there is a lot of scope for career growth.
Rabindra, when people come to me, whether they say psychology or molecular biotechnology or food technology, my answer will always be yes. Okay.
Uh,
But give your everything to the subject and
uh,
study at proper places. You study at improper places, don't blame the subject later.
yeah, true.
You cannot grow a healthy seed in Rajasthan desert. Okay. You have to put
Uh,
the healthy seed in a fertile soil and then water it. And you
yeah,
cannot
true.
blame the seed later if you plant it in a wrong space. That's what. Hmm?
Yeah, that's
One
very true. That's very true.
excellent, man. Anybody wanting to get into this food technology or such related options, I feel this video will be like a really good template, and also you have put it in a very subtle way, telling people, of course it is challenging. Okay, be patient, keep learning, ask questions to your professor. Eventually you will master it because you've already done that. Okay,
Yeah.
for a person like you to do this interview, it makes all the more realistic opinion, rather than people like us telling them, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, many have done it. It's
Yeah,
fine, we are
true.
still
Yeah.
motivating people, but
Yeah.
yours is like subjectually you are sharing your experience, which is amazing. And also people will understand why nobody promotes Wageningen. Only Europe Study Center promotes Wageningen. This
Uh,
question also people will, even the next 50 years, Rabindra, nobody will
mm.
promote Wageningen.
Uh,
Only us. Okay.
because my parents also they were very happy after coming to Europe, because my mom came with me to like few other consultants, but after coming to Europe Study Center, like I remember the exact words they were saying, okay, because I started almost 2.5 years after my bachelor's. I did this, and in between for 6 months I was debating whether should I go or not, and I was going around consultants and things like that. So there was, my parents were like thinking, okay, if it was this simple or this easy, we should have done this earlier itself. So it's not simple, but I really feel the Europe Study Center, the way they explained and the way they formulated the content, it really looked, it was very organized, that okay, it was like, okay, it's not a big deal if you have the qualifications, and if you're interested, okay, then definitely you can go. So the way they put it up was very good. And my mom, I was telling my mom about this interview, and she told, yeah, I remember the day when we went, they had a map. So I think in the room there was a map, and then they were pointing out on the maps the places and things like that. So yeah, it was actually good that I came into Europe Study Center.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Thank you so much. And thanks for giving us this opportunity, and also to be a part of your journey in this food industry. We, as a member, at the initial stages of your journey, getting deep into food technology, we are really happy. And thanks for giving us the opportunity. And one question which I wanted to ask you, Rabindra, I forgot actually.
Yeah.
Any plans of PhD in your mind?
So at the moment, yeah, I don't have any plans to do PhD, but in the future, I have to see. I'm open. I'm open in the future. So at least for the
Super,
next 4 5 years, I would like to gain more academic experience. I'm sorry,
super.
professional experience. Yeah.
Professional experience. Yeah, you never know. Like suddenly one day you get up, you have some topic in your mind, you discuss with your professors, and you may get into academia. You never know. Life is
Yeah.
full of
Yeah.
surprises and
Yeah. True.
challenges and benefits for those people who are ready to explore. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
True.
so much. It was great talking to you. I learned a lot of things, and this video will be like a template for all those people getting into food technology. Okay. And
Thank you so much, Suraman sir, and it was really nice meeting you in person, like virtually.
thank
And
you.
thanks a lot for this opportunity. And also, I would like to thank Anusha ma'am, because she was coordinating all this. She sent me a request and this, so it was really nice. Thanks to both of you. Yeah.
Yeah, because see, you have taken out time, and this video we did not glorify anything about Europe Study Center. This is about
Yeah. Yeah.
Rabindra. This is about Wageningen. This is about the professors, the do's and don'ts, which is the whole agenda of doing these interviews. Okay,
Mm.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Best wishes, and convey our regards to your father and mother, and best wishes to you, and all the very best. Okay, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.